Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. It's time for post-match reaction following a very difficult 90 minutes in Como tonight for Celtic as it finished Ajax 5, Celtic 1. I was that wasn't fun to watch, to be perfectly honest with you. It
No,
was,
e- even higher. First of all, even even before even the first half was dire. Let's be
aye,
honest.
we were fortunate to get an equaliser.
I I mean, and let's be honest. That is what you get when when you're you're bored is sitting around a table playing counting the dough and no spending any. And
Aye.
I'm not exaggerating. For all the players they got on Saturday, the polar opposite happened tonight.
Um, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to blame the players. Um,
No,
because I think it's a useless exercise to sit here and blame the players. Now I get the other player people are on the pitch. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to overreact in terms of on the pitch because it's a pre-season friendly. I didn't overreact on Saturday when we thumped Newcastle. It's just games can happen. To be honest, Ajax looked a better team, and it wasn't even Ajax's prime 11. To be honest with you, either still had some quality players out there. Don't get me wrong, um, it was a quite sober watch. We lined up with Casper, Michael, and goal, a back four. Let me just get up there now. A back four of Ralston, Dane Murray, Liam Scales, Kieran Tierney, Callum McGregor, Benjamin Nigren, Hatate, Yang, Maeda, and Ida. Um, I was like, we'll talk about the positives first, and then we'll go into the negatives, whatever. One positive I'm going to say, I
Dane
thought
Murray.
Dane Murray another good showing. I know it's going to sound stupid because he conceded 5 goals. Ironically, we
Well,
conceded another 4 goals when Cameron Carter Vickers comes on the park, who's meant to be a best centre half. As I said,
which,
I'm not going.
which he has, by the way.
I'm not going to overreact. It's just that's pre-season for you, to be honest. But I thought Dane Murray was really comfortable in that first half. Thought in terms of we're solid in that first half. Ajax put us under a lot of pressure, but I think we dealt with that pretty well. We obviously go 1-0 behind. I just think it's a handball, to be honest with you. It shouldn't even be allowed. I think a real competitive game wouldn't be allowed. But they go 1-0 up. And then Yang has a chance. Actually, before we concede to actually put his one up, he should have scored. But then
Yeah,
he repays. He does the job, and we get an equaliser for a really good counter attack. Brilliant pass from Kieran Tierney,
no, he
Hatate,
can't. He puts it in a
uh,
point.
and then brilliant touch and finish. Um, that's where the positives end. To be honest, unfortunately,
You can
we're
be
getting a half.
stupid there.
I know exactly. You're getting at half time 1-1, you're thinking, right, okay. And then, I think we brought in Cameron Carter Vickers and Anamura.
Yeah,
And then I think Ajax kind of just hit the turbo button, to be honest with you. I think Ajax in the first half were a bit, you know, that winger they had in the left hand, the two wingers were having an
well,
absolute field day, man.
did you notice who the winger was?
Aye, who we're linked to in January, Raul
Yeah, no.
Morrow. And I've been saying for years that Celtic should be looking at him, and he was outstanding tonight. Now,
Yeah,
maybe I'm looking too far into because I don't actually know how much they paid for him. I don't know if it was a decent, but I'm pretty sure it'd be a decent enough fee. But
well, put it
that's
this way, with a fee that we could,
you're
would have
probably
been a
talking about.
fee that we could
I'm going to
afford.
actually search it up. Give me a minute. I'm going to search him up and transfer marks. Actually, I know this, but that's what I was going to say. Is that's what Celtic players, it's players like that at Celtic need to be looking at if they want to move on to the next kind of level in the Champions League because he was a top player out there, and that's the type of players that Celtic are going to need.
Yep.
But
And by the way, you know how people were saying, uh, I, I'm going to, the Celtic fans that I've spoken to have said, we're alright up front. No, we're not. No, we're not.
Nah, I was going to go on it.
We need at least 3 players up front for competition more than
10,
anything else.
10 million euros they signed that guy from Valladolid. So that's
So
about
we
£8
could
million.
£8 million. That shouldn't be out of the question for us.
That shouldn't. No, obviously, the thing is, we might not sign £8 million players in our position. I don't want to just talk about the board again because it's a match reaction. But that's Ajax are a similar level to what we are probably going to be facing, or where we think we should get points in the Champions League. So you need
Well,
to
let's be
match it.
honest, they're the team you target.
Aye, exactly. And you need
It's
to.
not
So you
got to be
need
a
to.
PSG, it's not got to be a Barcelona you target,
Aye,
it's not got to be an Ajax, a Benfica, a Porto, a Sporting Lisbon. I know Porto aren't in it, but you get my
aye.
point.
No,
It's
I
our
know.
standard, the clubs.
And the only way you're going to do that is by finding really good recruitment, which we haven't got, or finding, spending a decent amount of money on good players, which we don't want to do. So it's, this is the thing. Striker is a worry. I think you're lying to yourself, to be honest with you. I don't want to just come in and be harsh on Adamida, but if you really think he could lead the line for 38 games a season,
In 1 year
nah,
of the league. That's he could
nah,
maybe do it in a 6 month spell, which
nah.
would
It just his first touch was not, and there was a few times, and that's where I was like, right, we need that, we need this is, and it really did remind me of a Champions League game where Celtic backs against the wall. You need a striker like what he did in Atalanta, and I gave him credit for that. We needed somebody to get, and it was a few times where he managed to get a wee flick on and get us out, but it was once or twice. He
yeah.
wasn't ruffling the defender up. He wasn't trying to get us up the pitch, and that's what we're going to need in these Champions League games. We're under the pressure. Let's say Atalanta last season, we're under the pressure. We had to just try and get out. We're going to need that. And I'm looking at it and going, we need something better up. It just was not getting a chunk of change. The Ajax centre half defended him really well,
Yeah,
but it
they
just
worked
wasn't
out
good enough.
early doors, by the way. Just let him have the ball, we'll take it
Aye.
over.
It just wasn't doing enough, and even the Ajax defender done really well, but I just felt he wasn't doing enough to try and get the better of them. Was a few times he did, but his first touch for me is just no good enough.
Well, you remember, and I know this led to a goal, so I'm not gonna. Remember the fourth goal on Saturday when Ida gets the ball, touches it, and it has to go and chase his own touch. That's
Exactly. It's
a
stuff
case
like
in
that, man.
example. And
And I
I
know,
don't. On you go.
no, I was just going to say, I know we're not going to get players who have get pristine touches. There is going to be maybe but this is, I mean, it's junior level at times.
It's basic. It's
And
basic.
if I'm being harsh, then I'm sorry, and I'll do I like Adam Meader, but how many times are we going to say,
It's
"Oh, we
not a
need to give
goal
him a chance. We
scorer,
need to get it."
Joe. It's not a goal.
Aye, we talk about he needs a pre-season. He's had a pre-season now, and
Yeah.
that was the difference with Nicholas Kuhn. We've seen what he done against Man City, Chelsea, teams like that, and you're thinking, right, no, he's going to have a big season. I'm not seeing that with Adam Meader.
Adam Ida has scored. What I'm assuming the players that started tonight won't start on Saturday. Now, cards on the table, boys. I know it's a post-match reaction. See Saturday, excuse my language here, it can fuck off. We've got bigger priorities than a third
Off the
quarter.
pitch, we'll get bigger priorities, but the priorities only seem to have been taken care of, unfortunately.
But what I would say, Josh, is this. I think what's no help me either. He's guaranteed a game.
Exactly,
Let's
I've
be
said that.
honest.
Said that for months. Because people say, "No, Adam, he needs a top striker." I was like, "No, you need two strikers firing." So if Adam Ida's off the form, out you come, and then comes and then there's a fight there for position.
Our
There's no there, and
second
that's the thing.
choice was playing for Shamrock Rovers last year. Let that sink in. Our second choice striker at the moment is probably Yamada. But let's be honest, none of us know what Yamada's capable of.
Aye. No,
And it
definitely.
needs to work. It needs to work.
Aye, it needs to. The other two, the third goal, it's really
Tony Ralston.
really this. Tony Alston just gets ran at all day, and it's just really poor. I think, to be fair, it is a decent enough goal,
Yeah.
and then I think the fourth goal was just a complete mess.
No, it's the fourth goal, no the one for no the kind of 25 yarder.
Aye, but even it was at 25 yards, it was just we weren't clearing
No
our lines
closing
properly.
down.
Nobody had a clue what they were doing. It was powder puff stuff. You know, two of the goals were absolute screamers, but I'm looking at what have we done before that, and we're just shanking the ball away, and the ball's going up in the air, and you're like, what are you doing? You know, come on. I was like, and you know, it really has. I'll say it again, Liam Scales is not good enough to play for Celtic. You know, unfortunately, Tony Ralston is not good enough to play for Celtic. And don't give me this nonsense. Oh well, he's good backup. Oh, come on, that's feeble.
Let's be honest. Only one of the players that started tonight's Battle 4 should be Celtic and the Celtic starting 11, if you want my opinion.
No, I don't. And I'm not going to come on here and be negative, is because I don't want to be. But I'm just looking what I see in front of us. And obviously, Anamura's got plaudits and deserved plaudits. I thought he struggled tonight. I'm not going to go really tough on him because I think he's had a good. But what I would be, because I've heard this argument being rehashed, and I've been thinking about it myself. This whole is it? Oh well, we don't need a backup left back because Anamura's. What I would say, and because I was listening to Ryan 118 stream, and he was saying it was a really good point. See if you're saying that Inamura is good enough to be backup left back. See if you're not 100% convinced that, say, Kieran Tierney Touchwood didn't get injured at Ibrox or get injured before a Champions League playoff, would you be certain Inamura is at left back?
No, especially. And I was going to make this point because, like you, I was watching Ryan's stream. I was going to make this point when he said that. Remember, this is a boy that hadn't played left back.
And I'm not going to go harsh on Inamura personally because I think he's done really well, and obviously
I'd like to see him at left centre half.
But you can't just go at no somebody who's no played at left back before. He's the second choice left back. No, come on. I'm like, you know, and I think he looks a decent player. And as I say, I'm not going to go harsh on the night. He did get run ragged about when he come on, but that's fine. You're going to get that for a £250,000 player.
You got what you pay for him. I'm kind of saying that.
Exactly. And well, not most of the time you do. Sometimes you'll get like a Matt Riley or Dies in my head or whatever. But you know, but
I just watched the night, Josh, in case we're accused to be negative, was Benji and Igwin. He looked.
I thought he was at fault for one of the goals. I think the one we were farting about at the back.
No, but I mean, in general, play.
I thought overall he looked decent, but just that point.
I would say.
Between him or Dane Murray, I think when Murray was on the part, it was quite solid. But I just thought that apart from that moment when the passing where we were just farted about and it led to a goal, it was just really kamikaze stuff, to be honest. You know, but Alistair, it's told us stuff that it's just confirmed that we already know. This squad is in dire need of freshness, reinforcements.
Ideally, Josh, we need half a dozen players.
I looked at the Ajax wingers, right, and I think that's a good yardstick to compare us because it's Ajax, it's not Barcelona, it's not Real Madrid. You know, it's Ajax. As we were saying earlier on, some team that if we got in the Champions League or we got actually, we can maybe get 3 points out of that or a point or whatever. Yeah. You know, so it's a decent yardstick to measure yourself. I was looking at their wingers and they were really exciting. Yeah. Where's your wingers?
Well, our wingers, and I'm going to give Dyson a pass, right? Because, let's be honest, Dyson's been sub for quality posts. He's a striker, he's a winger, he's a striker, he's a winger. No, but apart from that, I mean, Young's a bag of tricks. You don't know what you're getting.
And I'll
You
give Yang
really
credit.
don't.
I'll give Yang credit because I'm not going to be accused of no giving players credit in that. He was took his goal really well, and that's the annoying thing, Alistair, because there's, you're looking at the goal we scored. That's a real good goal. Tierney, Hatate, brilliant in the midfield
Fast,
play.
his quick move, aye.
But then you're looking at there's still wingers that we need to bring in, and that's what I'm just getting really annoyed at again. And it's not the team I'm getting annoyed at. It's Lawwell, Nicholson, Desmond, and the people that off the pitch, because off the pitch it just seems a bit of shambles.
One play, one,
We've
one
seen
player
one
in
player in
July
July.
was signed. Yeah,
It's
one player.
mental.
It's madness.
Even when the
Aye.
season starts at the start of fucking August. I
Do
mean,
you know something? We are now. We, as far as I'm concerned, we are now at the St Mirren. We're at the St Mirren game now. Because let's be honest, the players that come on the night will be the players that start the game on Saturday. Let's be real. If we've got a win, that's what we should be doing.
aye.
Again, Vickers might have to play to get minutes in the legs, but in an ideal world,
Aye. Just before we finish up, I actually do want to talk about what Brendan Rodgers said after the game. He also cleared up the Yamada confusion because that was another confusing thing at the start of the game. He had another go at the board. So people who accuse Brendan Rodgers, because I've heard this as well, people accusing Brendan Rodgers of no being firm enough. I don't know how many times he needs to tell the club what they need to do. It's nothing to do with Brendan Rodgers. If Brendan Rodgers leaves this club because of the board aren't.
he's going to start.
And I don't know if I'm speaking just Matt. This is just how I'll react. I won't be blaming Brendan Rodgers this time.
No.
I never did blame Brendan Rodgers the first time either. I could look by it and go, alright, it's a bigger problem at hand here. But anyway, Brendan Rodgers says just that he wouldn't go too harsh on the defeat, which is I think's perfectly fine. We've had two good runouts, then a good 45 minutes there. And then he also admitted the club can't afford to stand still. Rodgers then said, and the word of this is, it's telling for me. Yes, it depends on what your ambition is. If your ambition is to really progress and push forward, then we need to improve the squad. That's directed at none other, not the fans, not the players, not Brendan, not the coaching staff, but Dermot Desmond, Peter Lawwell, and Michael Nicholson.
And Paul Tisdale.
And whoever, he's right. If they want us to, and they don't want us to move as a football club. So that's if they wanted us to move a football club, they would spend money or bring players in that they felt that Brendan Rodgers needed. They've not done anything.
Well, I'll ask you a question. Nicholas Kuhn left. By the time the season starts, 4 weeks after, and we've still got £17 million sitting there, and the rest. So where's my players? It's gross negligence.
Oh, it's embarrassing. It is, and Brendan Rodgers also said, however, if you want to progress, then as I said, you need to bring the quality, and it's something we can hopefully do. It shouldn't be we hopefully doing it.
He also said yesterday that he's hopeful that word again. He was hopeful he'd get a striker in January. Never happened. He was hopeful that it would be done before the end of the window. We're in dire need. As I said earlier, 5-6 players. The team starting 11 are good, but they're done in. They're absolutely done in.
I wouldn't say done in. They need something else as well to when 60, 70. Just needs more quality.
Well,
It's not being done
look
in. You
at the
just need more
bench.
quality.
And I thought it was telling again that Callum Osman never come on.
I don't see the point in that myself, to be honest. With all
No,
this build up
just
about
saying,
him,
I
and
thought it was telling he never got on.
he's had a few minutes against Cork City in pre-season.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, it doesn't look great personally, but
No, no.
who knows? But I mean, we're just coming on here and saying rehashing the same stuff. There needs to be stuff done. It's the
Yeah.
big if there's going
And
to be
you know
stuff
the
done.
sad thing? I'd be more surprised if stuff did get done.
Exactly.
That's the sad thing.
But as you say, there's Saturday. Doesn't really mean anything now, to be honest. So it's just about trying to get ready for that first league game against St Mirren. Will we have new players in by then? Who knows?
Well, even let's give them the benefit of the doubt, Josh, and say we do get a couple players. They'll not be ready. And that's unforgivable.
Aye.
Suppose you come, you agree a fee on Friday for 2 wingers. Right? I think we all agree we need at least 2 now. Right? And a centre forward. Let's go mental. As Jack would say. If and
We'll end up with fucking sulks,
yeah, I
as
know.
Victor would say.
Yeah. Socks.
Aye.
But as I say, that is absolute that. But as I say, you bring them in, they're not going to be ready, Josh. They're not even going to know how we play.
Aye, exactly. Aye.
Look
No,
at
you're
your
100%,
mother.
no, you're 100% correct. The reason Yamada was obviously it's real confusion before kickoff of how he wasn't in the squad. He was in the squad, then taken out. It was because apparently it's regarded as a UEFA competition, which I've never heard in my life. But it's
For
Fit Boy.
a pre-season. Or is that maybe because it's a tournament?
Aye,
Maybe,
maybe I. But
we
it's
need
just
to
like
think about it. That's the only logical reason. But
aye.
I wish they turned on the light and had stayed on, Josh, to be honest with
I
you.
know, but we'll see what happens in the next few days. But Brendan Rodgers has said what he needs, and he's said to the board about quality. The
Over to
players,
you, basically.
the players are trying to do the best they can. We've saw that over the pre-season. It's over one part of the club, and it's not the supporters; it's the board.
A minor
Aye,
miracle that actually Josh we managed to beat Sporting Lisbon and Newcastle.
aye.
Really. If
Um,
you've been really fair and honest. A result like this has been in the post.
no, I know. But they know what they need to do. They know what Brendan Rodgers wants. It's just they need to provide them with it.
They'll
But
panic now. They'll panic.
will they? I don't. I think it's. I don't think anything. I'll say it again. I think even though, because let's be honest, they look at what Rangers are doing. Let's be honest, that's what it's doing, and that's just. Do you think? Do you think that Rangers board look how Celtic are doing constantly? Of course they don't. We seem to just look how Rangers, because that's when we need to hang our yardstick by. They will not be concerned with that 60 minutes that Rangers put in against Panathinaikos all night.
No.
So, and it's because I don't think Rangers will what Celtic doing. They'll not care
No,
because they
they'll be
want.
focusing bringing
Aye,
their,
exactly. And I wish we
their
would do
ball.
that, and that's the thing. So I don't know. I wouldn't
Do you
be. I,
know our end in this? Our recruitment model is
there's no recruitment
barbaric.
model.
It's barbaric.
There's
It's
no,
barbaric.
there's not even barbaric. There's nothing there. There's no recruitment model. because we don't even get linked with players. I'd understand if we get linked with players and left it at the last minute. At least we're looking for players. Now we're not even looking for players. So, in my opinion, there's no recruitment model whatsoever. But I'll end up on this as well and just say Brendan Rodgers has sent a message. It's now up to the board to provide them with the tools. And if they don't provide them with the tools, if Brendan Rodgers leaves at the end of next season because of it, it's not going to be Brendan Rodgers.
He'll not be judged in this season of his
he'll not get the blame. He'll not get the blame for the misgivings, because at the end of the day, a board run a club, a manager doesn't. But that's going to be it for this post-match reaction. We'll hopefully be back at some point. We'll obviously be back Saturday night to do a post-match reaction on the pointless game that is against Al Ahly. But hopefully, maybe tomorrow we'll have some news about any signings. But
say that again.
Exactly. But that's just what the window is. But until then, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.